welcome back to my channel. This is going to be my first video for the new year, and I am going to be making some little mittens for my daughter. So for this project, you guys are going to need your fabric and elastic. Let me tell you guys the measurements of this. This is 9.5 inches this way and 13 inches going across. I am gonna try and get 2 from this because her hands are so small, so I'm going to be folding this in half. I want to use the edges here because they are already curved, so I'm gonna fold that in half again, and I'm gonna fold it again. So if I'm using the curved edges, I would only need to cut the hair and then fold it like so and cut again. When you guys get your 9.5 inch by 13 inches, you guys can just fold that in half this way, and to cut that, you separate the pieces, you fold again. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to cut it again. So each piece will now be looking like that with a curved end. So what you guys can do is just fold it like this and then use your little curve as a guide. If you're working with just your plain fabric that is not yet curved, you guys can just do a little curve. You also need to curve the other side. So for me, I'm just going to be finding the middle of it, so this edge will match up with this edge, and that will show me how to curve it. You just go ahead and curve. So you just hold it in place firmly and then you cut and get that curve. So that should be what it looks like. So this is what all 4 pieces would look like. So you guys can see that. Alright, so when you open them out, this is what they should look like. I'm not going to move that because I don't need to. But they're all gonna look like this. So I'm just gonna work on one and show you guys. By the way, my elastic, I'm going to be cutting it in 2. So you guys can see this elastic, it has like this little line running right down the middle, so I can actually separate it because this is 1/2 inch elastic and I actually want 1/4 inch. So if you guys have 1/4 inch elastic, that would be the perfect thing to use. I'm just going to slit mine down the middle. So this is what both pieces would be like. So now I have 1/4 inch. And I'm gonna fold them like this and then just cut it in. So now I have 4 pieces for the 4 of them. So now you're gonna take these, you're going to be folding right sides together. So you put the right sides together. So you're working on the wrong side, you're gonna give it a stitch from here going all the way down. Make sure you back stitch here and back stitch here. So now I am all done with all 4 of mine. So I'm just going to be working on one and show you guys. So as I said, we are on the wrong side, so we're going to now be making our fold. Now if you guys are making, if you are making yours for a particular person, so let's say I'm making it for my daughter and her hands are very small, so I know like if I do 3 inches it would be great for her. So from here to here, I know I want 3 inches. Let me take it up so you guys can see. So from here to here, I'll do 3 inches for her. So I will have all of this, which is almost 2 inches more, and all of that will be for the fold. So what I am going to do is to mark that, marking that with pins. Right now I have a needle in, but basically what you're going to be doing is to turn this all the way up to the 3-inch mark. So you turn up to the 3-inch mark, and you're just going to be making a teeny tiny little fold just to hide the raw edges. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you guys a trick that you can use to make it go a little bit easier, because when you go under the sewing machine with something so small, it tends to be a little bit hard, and you might end up moving moving and not getting the best of straight stitch. So what you guys can do, you can consistently measure your 3-inch going right around, so you know exactly that, okay, this is the fold that you're working with. And what you do, you pin, say, in the middle here, and you try doing that going all the way around, which is probably just going to take about 3 pins. But what you will do is to get a needle and a thread, and this is just going to help you. So you do some cute little basting stitch. You just turn, you slightly turn the edge in, and you're just going to be giving it some big basting stitch just to hold that in place. And this will make it so much easier when you're doing that stitch. Now once you're done with the basting stitch going all the way around, you can just remove your pins and you stitch along this line. Trim up the little threads. So you're going to be removing that basting stitch that you did as well. So you just clean up as you go along. So this is what it would look like right at the edge there. Alright, so now what you're gonna go ahead and do is to find your 1/2 inch. So you're going 1/2 inch from here and you're going in 1/2 inch. Or if you don't want to go 1/2 inch, you can go a little bit in more, because you are now working with 1/4 inch of the elastic. So I can go around the middle of this and I shouldn't have a problem. So when you turn it on the right side, you're gonna see that 2 lines, and this is it. So what you're gonna do on the wrong side, where you had the seam, you're going to be opening this little section right here, only the one on the inside. You're not going to be doing the one on the outside. So it's this little gap, which is the sewing between the 2 stitches, and you're just going to pop that open with your seam ripper, and this is where you're going to be inserting the elastic. So now you're going to take your elastic and take your pin. I'm just using this really small pin. And I'm just going to be sliding it through. What you guys can do is just to stick a pin like that. And this will just prevent it from coming out when you're pushing this in. And you go all the way around until you get back through the other end. Once you have both ends sticking out, you're going to make sure that you didn't spin the elastic. You're going to make sure that the elastic was not twisted while you were going around. So you check for that, you just kind of straighten this out, and then so you guys can see this, and right now this is very big for my daughter's hand. So what I will do is just adjust it to how I want it. But basically you just remove the pins, and you're gonna be giving this a stitch, so just lap one over onto the other and you give it a stitch there. Now I use the white thread so you guys can see. If I use the black then you wouldn't see. So this is it, and all you do is just to pull and kind of tuck this. So you guys can use your seam ripple and just tuck this on in. Just tuck it in, and then you pull it, and then that's it. So this should be able to fit my daughter. I don't want it to be too tight, but at the same time I don't want it to be too big. And voila, we're done. So I'm gonna finish up the rest and let you guys have a look at it.